So you're looking at moving to Idaho and you're wondering what you should do to prep your kids to move here to Idaho. I've got the top 8 ways to prep your kids for the big move here to Idaho, and I'm getting after it right now. Hey everyone, so you're looking to make a move here to Idaho and you're wondering how do you prepare your kids to make the move to Idaho? It's a huge change, a big transition. I went through it myself with my wife and my 3 young children, so I know exactly what you're going through and how difficult it is to make a huge move like what you're about to undertake. So I'm going to be covering 8 different ways that you can talk with your kids and be prepared mentally for different things that might happen as well that are going to help you just make a much smoother move here to Idaho. And real quick, my name is Chisholm with the Chism Team. I help people relocate here to Idaho. I have a team that help people relocate. We specialize in that, and we absolutely love helping people just like you make the smooth move here to Idaho. That's what we specialize in, is helping people make it a very smooth, easy transition. I've been through it myself and I know what it's like. So is what we love doing, and helping people so that you can come to experience everything that Idaho has to offer that we moved here for, and we'd love to help you experience that as well. So all you gotta do is reach out to us via phone, text, or email. We'll have a conversation, jump on a Zoom call, figure out what the lifestyle is that you're looking for to have, and what the best area of Treasure Valley might be for you. There's so many different options here, whether it's in Boise or Eagle, where you want to be right next to the Greenbelt and the river, or in Meridian, kind of a little more suburban feel, right in the middle of all the heart of Treasure Valley, or out of Nampa and Caldwell, where it's a really much slower pace of life, more out in the country, or similar like that with Kuna or Star and Middleton as well. So real quick, hit subscribe to this channel. We're dropping new videos pretty much every week, sometimes a couple times a week as well, all about moving and relocating here to Treasure Valley. And you can stay informed about what it's like to live here, pros and cons, everything you need to know about making the move here to the Treasure Valley, Boise area. And stay to the end, because I've got a great tip for you about using FaceTime with your kids. You want to see that at the end of the video. All right, let's go ahead and get after the first way that you can prep your children to make the move here to Idaho. And that is, first of all, as you're planning to make the move, whether that's, hopefully maybe a couple months away, a few months, even a year away, you can start engaging with your children and having a conversation with them and talk about making the move. Help them feel like they're part of the decision to make the move. Ask them how they feel about it. Talk through how they're feeling, what are their concerns. And ultimately, of course, you'll make the decision, but you want them to feel like they were certainly a part of that decision-making process, and that they have time to process that decision and to make that move. So that's what we started doing with our children. Now I have younger children, so I don't have teenagers. It might have been harder for sure with teenagers. That's actually a reason we moved now as opposed to waiting later, is because it is easier with younger children. But even with my 5-year-old, we started that process months ahead of time, just saying, hey, we're thinking about moving. What do you think about that? Hey, we're thinking about moving. What about this state that we visited? Remember we visited friends here? What did you think about that? Remember your friends that you met? You want to go maybe live with them? So questions like that help engage them and help them start making that process. And at first it was a definite no from my 5-year-old. She was like, nope, don't want to move. I'm good here. What are you talking about? So even from a 5-year-old, we got resistance right up front. So you're going to get that probably pretty much at any age. I'd say above 4 years old, you're going to be getting some kind of pushback and resistance. But over time, that started to melt. And once we made the decision to actually make the move here to Idaho versus some other states we were looking at, she was okay with it and she became excited about it. And another way is kind of a bonus way that I'll throw in here is, once we decided on the home we were going to be purchasing, we began showing her photos and video of that home. And she got really excited about the new home we were moving into and how much better it was than what we had in California. And so that created a lot more excitement around making that move. So I'll just roll this video here and you can see how she has gotten over it. She got over it relatively quickly about moving to Idaho, and just watch what she says about if she misses California or not in this video. All right, Olivia. Do you like living in Idaho?
Yeah.
Why do you like living in Idaho?
Because I like living in Idaho because there's fountains and water parks and splash pads and the restaurants here.
Restaurants. Do you like the river too?
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Do you miss California?
No.
Not at all?
Uh-uh.
Do you miss the beach?
Kinda, and I miss my best friend.
Yeah, that's hard, isn't it? To leave your friends behind. But are you making new friends here too?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so cool.
because I still have some friends here.
Yep, you got friends here, huh?
Even though I didn't make them, I still have them because we visit them.
That's right. All right, the second way is that goodbyes are not forever. So that was another thing that we prepared them for, was that, hey, you're saying goodbye to your friends and your family right now, but that's not forever. We're gonna come and visit them. They're gonna come visit us. And so a big way you can get ahead of that is, if you're able to, plan a trip home in maybe 3 months or 6 months. So that's what we did, is we just went ahead and planned a trip with our camper trailer back in San Diego 6 months out. So we knew we were coming home for at least a week to 10 days. And that made a big difference, also knowing like they had something to look forward to, going to be able to see their friends. And it helped their friends too, and our family be more okay with it too, because it's not just about the kids, it's also about everyone else in your life that's being affected by this. So they knew that they were going to be seeing us again in just a few months. The next thing up is, we moved in the summertime. So, you can move any time of year. I think the easiest time to move is probably going to be in the spring, late spring and summertime. Certainly as school is getting out, and during that summertime transition, if you have children, young children especially. And the big reason for that was not just because of the school transition, that was certainly a part of it. Now, we ourselves homeschool, or in our case right now, doing a homeschool hybrid program, so we did need to time it with the school year starting up. But there's just so much to do in the spring and summertime. Now, of course, there's wintertime activities as well, but it's just a lot colder. It's harder to go outside. You kind of have to make a big effort to do it. But when the summertime, yes, it's hot, but there's a lot of things to do with the river, splash pads, playgrounds, water parks, mountains. So there's so much to do during the summertime that can keep your child really, really busy and active, so that it just makes it, I don't want to say forget, but kind of forget about the fact they just left all their friends and family behind. And it makes that transition just a lot easier when they're staying super active, and for yourself too, because you're going to be going through similar emotions as well, missing everyone. And if you're staying busy and active, and more importantly, eating outside and getting all that vitamin D and all that sunshine, it's going to help you stay a lot more positive, help your kids stay a lot more positive, and just be much more happier about making that transition. And that is something that you got to be aware of, is especially in the winter months, a lot of lack of vitamin D up here. And so it's easy to kind of get depression because you're inside so much, not getting that sun. So make sure you get outside as much as you can and take vitamin D supplements. That's going to help a lot too. Next up is to be prepared for some regression. And that is a regression potentially in behavior, or if your children are potty training, there could be regression that occurs. And that's because of all the stress that is surrounded around moving. And even in yourself, in your personal life, you might have some regression that you might find too. I had it was a very stressful moving here, and it took some time for me to get my business up and running. And once I was settled in, I had the mental energy to really focus on it and push forward really, really hard. So you're gonna find that same thing likely in your children as well. We found that out through friends and family that helped us see that, and that's okay. To be prepared for that, and that's okay. Just cut them some grace, cut them some slack, give them some grace, so you're aware of the regression that might occur. So for instance, behavior, they might lash out a little bit more at you. It's not because maybe they're mad at you necessarily. It could be part of it, being a little upset about a move, but there's so much stress that they might lash out a little bit more. So just be prepared for that. We were potty training our 2-year-old at the time, and he was mostly potty trained before we moved. And then we moved into a short-term rental for about 6 or 7 weeks. We had some issues around getting the house, so there was a lot of kind of chaos, and we ultimately got it and then moved in. And then once we were in for a number of weeks, all of a sudden, he just decided diapers were coming off and he was potty training himself. So as soon as things settled down, then it wasn't a problem more. And so that regression period was over and we could move forward. So just be prepared for that as well. Next up is to find your tribe quickly. So whatever that looks like for you, whether that's school, church, activities, sports. I would definitely recommend trying to find as quickly as you can. Of course, you want to make the right decision on certain things, especially things like church. You know, those are harder to change, and schools are harder to change over time as your kids get settled in. But as quickly as you can, definitely find those activities that your kids are interested in. Find your friend group around that, things that you are interested in particular, and build your tribe of people here. Build your friend and network, and that's going to help your kids fit in a lot faster and get comfortable being here, and just get through that process of making that transition. All right, next up, and that's a pro tip for my wife, of course, is to have easily accessible cards, letters, envelopes, and stamps so you can write to your children's friends back home. So my kids love making little note cards, making their little drawings. We'll just take out a piece of computer paper and give it to them, and they'll draw, you know, their names, their friends' names, draw them together, them doing things together, and we'll just slip it into an envelope, put a stamp on it, and send it off to them. And we'll get the same thing back as well from their friends or cousins, family. And that's a really great way for them to feel connected with their family back home. So writing cards for your children is a really great way to keep that connection back home. Next is we also took pictures with our friends and family before we moved. So we made sure to go around and get pictures with everyone. We had to go and way party for ourselves, and we made sure to get pictures when we were there. And so then we could create a photo album with all of our close friends and family, and especially our children's friends as well, and put them into a photo book, a memory book, so they can create it, helps them remember them, and look through it. So again, help them feel that connection that they might be missing otherwise. All right, and the last pro tip from my wife, and that wraps up this video, is that using FaceTime, how your children use FaceTime, is gonna be a lot different than how we use FaceTime. So I would definitely recommend that your kids use FaceTime to communicate with their friends and family back home, especially the grandparents, if that's the case. But specifically with their friend group, you know, we look at using FaceTime as just a way to visually see someone we would otherwise be talking to on the phone or texting with. The kids basically use it as a way to play. So there's all these fun little stickers you can put on the FaceTime, filters, so all of a sudden you can look like a chipmunk or a raccoon or a unicorn or whatever, and kids love to use those features to play with their friends back home. So I would look at FaceTime as a playtime for your kids, and it's a really great way to have them continue to build that connection and friendship through play over technology through FaceTime. All right, well, that was 8 ways to help prepare your kids to make the move here to Idaho, getting way in front of it, preparing them, helping them buy into the decision to move, and all the different tips and tricks while you're actually here. So if you are looking to make the move here to Idaho, that's what we specialize in, helping especially families make the move here to Idaho, just like I made the move here myself with my 3 kids. And I absolutely love helping people make the move here, and my team loves helping people as well. We get reach outs all the time. So whether you're 9 days or 90 days or even 2 years out, just reach out, we'll have that conversation, figure out the best place for you, the best lifestyle opportunity, the best lifestyle city that fits you. And if you are looking to make the move here to Idaho, just watch this video right here, which goes over the many areas of Boise, Idaho, and help you find the best place for you.